All right, speaking of men who like to date underage girls, because I just did a reading on Jarvis Butts as it relates to the Naziah Harris case. Drake! No shade, no tea, no shade. I was actually going to do Drake first, but I kept hearing Jarvis Butts' name in my mind, so I felt like I needed to get that reading out. I want to just peek in on Drake. It's a lot going on. The Super Bowl is Sunday, I believe. I gotta find somewhere to hang out. The Super Bowl is Sunday. Who's inviting me over? Who's flying me out to their Super Bowl party? I'd love to come. I'll bring the vibes. And you just point me to the weed man in your town, and it'll be a party. Who's inviting me? I mean, don't all volunteer at once. I'm cute. I can hang out with y'all. Anyways, I'll be waiting. I will be waiting. Super Bowl is this weekend. I know everybody's anticipating Kendrick Lamar, who just won 5 Grammys for Not Like Us, um, performing Not Like Us at the halftime show. I know that Drake is in Australia or somewhere out of the country performing, doing a tour, staying busy, being distracted, making money, which he should. Um, I saw that he came out in one of his shows with like a shirt with bullet holes and smoke. I was like, man, if you ain't the most dramatic that I've ever seen in my life. It was a cute to me, but anyways, I don't think I expect anything less from a light skinned Scorpio man. No shade to any light skinned Scorpio males, but all shade. Andrew was a light skinned Scorpio male, and once I snatched the cat back, he was like, oh, well then let me snatch this business and snatch your best friend too, since she liked me. Fun fact, he had just did that to his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, like a few weeks before then. And he tried to get his business partner, once they broke up, he tried to get his business partner to stop doing business with her since he had broke up with her. But the business partner was like, she's a great businesswoman. Why would I do that? And so he stopped being friends with someone that he was friends with for 20 years because this person would not side with him in exiling this woman out of the business. A few weeks later, maybe a month or so later, he found a duck in Natasha. As soon as I snatched the cat back and said, let's just keep it all business, because I think this is starting to get weird, and I foresee an interference in the business in the future. And coin first. This was fun. This little four rumbles in the Bronx was fun. But let's just keep it business from here on out. 2 weeks later. So, no shade, but all shade to you light skinned Scorpio men. Please get a hold of your emotions. I beg. I beg. I beg. I beg of you. Before you meet someone who will make you regret your vindictive nature for the rest and the priority of your life, make you regret being born as vindictive as you are, and as vindictively unemotionally stable as you are, make you regret, make you wish that you were born with a whole nother character, a whole nother set of beliefs and habits and morals, make you look at your parents like, why? What is it about you that made me this way, that made me do this to someone like that, that made them do something like that to me? Catch yourselves. Catch yourselves. And I know that you Scorpio men are into sex and you like the baddies and stuff, but stay away from air sign baddies or Aries moon baddies if you can't get a hold of your emotions, because air sign baddies, Libras, and Aquarius is more so than Geminis, can be a lot more emotional detached and a lot more mentally savvy, more likely to go toe to toe with you, trying to play mind games and win and be the first. They'll probably be the first to take their feelings out of it if they ever had any in there in the first place. Make you think they were, but then make you see that it actually is just all air and just all, okay, strictly business, strictly logic. Now you're feeling betrayed because you couldn't get a hold of yourself. You did something vindictive to the wrong one, got outsmarted, got your feelings even more hurt. You self-destruct. I don't self-destruct, but it might look like it to you. It might look like I'm blowing us both up, but really, I bathe in the fire. I bathe in the flame. So only one of us is going to turn to ash. Anyways, that's something that I think Drake is already learning or already learned. Didn't he go toe to toe with an air sign? A Gemini, but an air sign. You guys see where I'm going with this? Scorpios, I know you guys like to seek and conquer due to your ego and your sexual pride and nature and your need to just, ooh, there's a challenge. Let me do that with all the other signs, just not the air ones. Because everybody else acts a certain way towards water. Air does not. It can be windy and rainy at the same time. Can't be fiery and rainy. Can't be wet and fiery. And if you put enough dirt on a fire, it'll smolder. If you put enough dirt on water, it'll turn to mud. If you put fire on water, it'll evaporate. But air and water don't change each other's element. In fact, air can move water. Water doesn't move air. So, Drake, that's my fun analogy in astrology in real time about Scorpio men specifically. And I'll say Scorpio people because Natasha was very vindictive like that, but she was in a secret competition being my friend, but so that she can secretly just like consume me. She hated me, but she loved me at the same time. And I didn't even know. I was just there with my heart open until I realized what it was. And then, but Scorpios, do your Scorpio thing, but with anybody but an air sign, which leads me to Drake. And I had to use my own personal experience to expound on that analogy because it seems to be true. Scorpios, you do your Scorpio thing, but don't try to sting an air sign because it's just air. We don't really feel anything, but when we acknowledge that you tried to sting us, that's how you hurt us, when we acknowledge what you tried to do. When we see what it is. It might not even be when you stabbed us in the back, but once we start thinking back, like an air sign, thinking back on the shit you did and you said, boy, that's when we start to feel it, boy. We start to feel it. I'm gonna have a delayed reaction all the time in the moment. But I also have a Scorpio descendant. So catch me after I done thought about it, because you're going to think you got away with it. And then I'm just going to come unannounced, well prepared, because I've been overthinking all the way until I start straight thinking. I done plotted, planned out every step. I want you to think I forgot to. I want you to think you won. It could be a year later. Perfect timing. The stars have aligned for my plan. Scorpios, do your thing, but not with an air sign. I just say that just so that you can be safe. It's almost 10 minutes in, but I had to do that. I had to do it because it is the truth. Scorpios, don't do your thing with air signs. We don't really feel like that. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the soul and the spirit of Drake, Aubrey Drake Graham. I think some cards wanted to flip. Yep, some cards are flipped the wrong way. This is going to be interesting. Drake, talk to me about how you're feeling these days. You got this battle with UMG. You got the Grammys that just showered Kendrick and bestowed upon him honors and graces and recognitions and praise. You got the whole Grammys attendance, plus more, who were in agreement with Kendrick's moment. Whether that was a dig to you or not, or just a celebration of Kendrick, I'm sure you took that as a dig, as a bullet. Boom, boom, boom. To your black hoodie sweater. Kendrick's also about to follow up that momentous night at the Grammys with a Super Bowl performance where he does not have to perform his biggest song of the year because everyone in the audience will know. Everyone in the audience will be singing. He might just hold his microphone and let the beat play. I don't know. I can imagine how this feels for you these coming days, but I don't want to imagine. Drake, talk to me about what's currently going on with you, how you feel about UMG and your battle with them, the Kendrick of it all. And what's going on with you right now? Drake, talk to me. Because I know you probably are in need of someone who you can vent to. And you can't really do this with your boys because they all are on your balls. And so you have to be their fearless leader. But here in Beyond the Veil, girl, have a glass of Vintners White. And let's just talk about it. My audience will not judge you. I think. At least I won't. I can't speak for them, but I listen. I don't judge. Drake, what's going on with you currently? What is going on in your soul? Speak from your soul's truth and keep nothing from me. I'm cutting ties with everyone who cut ties with me. These are mutual breaks in relationships. Anybody who Drake feels like is aligned with Kendrick, if you smirked in Kendrick's direction, Drake is cutting you off. If when any of Kendrick's song is played, you did this, and that's it, and Drake caught you, you're getting cut off. If you like mustard on any of your food, you're getting cut off. If you've ever read a book by a Pulitzer Prize winning author, you're getting cut off. If your name starts with a U, an M, or a G, you're getting cut off. And on the other side, people are feeling like, Drake, it's mutual. Bye, snip, snip. It's two knives and a scissor. You, me, snip, snip. One nail, one without. Bye, snip, snip. This is Drake with the nail. This is everybody else like, boy, we don't care. We bald-headed. We don't need you. Because this is stuck on my finger and it's painful. That's why it's still on there. And Drake, they feel like you're just stuck into the culture, sucking the joy out of the finger. Sucking the joy out of the culture of rap. And Drake is like, well, F you. I'll just make it painful for everybody involved. Me and my analogies today, it has to be the wine. Shout out to Lake Ridge. Drake feels like they're coming for my star by putting Kendrick up above me. This was always Drake. This was, I guess, Lucien or the industry whose back he rests upon. And this is all the other artists and rappers. Challenges, though, I think they're starting to pour some of Drake's water equally into another artist like Kendrick. It's challenging Drake's star power and position. I do think that whatever God package the industry, the machine was giving to Drake to keep him at God's status, they have started to withdraw it from him. Now, whether they're pouring it into Kendrick or not, they've started to pour less into Drake, and that's all that really matters. In his mind, they're taking from him and giving to Kendrick. That could be so because Kendrick has been laid back. He doesn't really produce music like that. So when he wants to produce, when he's in his creative phase, then they'll pay him attention. And Kendrick has shown that them paying him attention pays them. So when Kendrick is ready to pop out, they'll give them the same treatment. I don't think that it's any favoritism towards Kendrick. I think it's the lack of favoritism towards you. While Kendrick is doing his thing with his label support, that's propelling him beyond you. But I don't even think this is something that Kendrick did to compete, because Kendrick's energy seems to be very confident and self-assured, and that he knows he's the best, which is why he doesn't need to flaunt or be out on the scene so much. He makes music when he's ready to, or when he has something to say, and he comes out and he feels like he destroys, and then he goes back because he doesn't need the machine to make him great, so he doesn't have to be the celebrity. Drake is a celebrity, so he's looking at it from a celebrity's perspective, somebody who's a part of the beast, the machine. And he's looking at it like, if this was me, this is what Kendrick would be doing, or this is what the label would be doing for Kendrick. But I think that the label is doing what for Kendrick what they should be. They're just not doing for Drake what they used to. Did someone from Drake's camp go to jail or something like that in the recent past? Because I said Academics was going to get somebody hemmed up. This is not only somebody from Drake's camp getting hemmed up. This is also Drake getting hemmed up in his first attempt to shake down UMG and having to restructure himself and actually go through with the lawsuit. I think he was calling them bluff initially, but then things happened that backfired against that bluff, which made him have to, instead of just taking that L, his ego was triggered because him calling their bluff backfired on him. So now they're laughing at him like, listen, little guy, we told you not to do this. We'll overlook it. We won't punish you for it. Just sit down, take what we give you. We're not going to boost you anymore, but, we won't knock you over the head. And he was like, little boy, bitch, lawyer, run those papers. For real. Even if it was self-destruction. I think his beef with UMG and how that played out even with his crew is the cause for this. His crew, including Academics. Because whatever Academics said, I believe, led to the arrest or a case on someone in Drake's crew. Drake is aware that the Super Bowl is coming up. He seems to be doing whatever he can to make it seem like he's accepting of the situation. He doesn't want to seem like he's trying to ignore it, which he is. I feel like Drake really is trying to ignore it, but he doesn't really want to seem like he is. So the performance takes a little bit of distraction off Drake, actually. Because if he wasn't performing, if he was just quiet while the Super Bowl was going on, everybody would be talking about how they speculate Drake to be feeling. Him being out and performing takes away everybody from being able to create their own fun or trolling online narratives that they want to make about how Drake might feel, because he'll be performing and in our faces, seemingly unbothered while bothered. I think that Drake is having a breakup with Lucien. Everybody says that's his daddy. And everybody says that Lucien is the daddy of the industry. That's who this beef is really with. Not UMG, but Lucien. Through UMG. This feels like a lover's quarrel. It feels like, based on our relationship and our history, you should have done more for me here. You should have taken my side. I think that Drake is probably going to try to show that he is profitable without the machine, because he's on the outs with the machine, i.e. whoever is close to a Cups relationship, and people say that he has a daddy relationship with Lucien, so that's who I believe it to be with. It could even have been intimate at some point, because this is usually my same-sex card. There could have been some other perks to that relationship for Lucien and Drake. I think Drake is trying to show them that he can make money without them, and I think that Drake is trying to show himself that he can continue to be profitable without the machine. Just in case, I actually think that Drake isn't sure. There could be a chance that he may relent and let the industry know and the machine know that, okay, I'm sorry. It just depends on how well he does while he's trying to prove his point. This King of Wands in the external energy, this could be Jay-Z, and because Jay-Z is a part of the Super Bowl. He could feel like Jay-Z is doing everything in his power to prop up Kendrick, or Jay-Z and the NFL are going to do their big one when it comes to propping up Kendrick and giving him the main show. I do think that Drake might have went into this beef with Kendrick thinking that he was going to put his label in a weird place. Based on his history with them, I think that he was trying to make them see or pick a side between him and Kendrick. I think Drake and both the label are aware of Kendrick's talent and skill. And I think in his negotiation, he thought, bet, I'll go up against the best that you guys got. And I think that he was confident in himself. And I also think that he thought whomever he's in a close relationship with would lead the charge behind him. And it didn't go that way. Drake may also be concerned about the battle that will ensue with him pursuing UMG. He slings mud, they sling mud. What's going to come out of that mud? I believe Drake will continue to be alienated from the industry. He may go independent. He may go rogue. Drake is on an isolation tour right now. With that present card, Devil in reverse. Ties are being cut. Drake seems to be a loner. by choice and by force. He may spend a lot of time touring outside of the country. Meaning outside of the U.S. I think he feels like he's being blackballed in some way, and in some way he kind of is, because the machine isn't working for him like it was. It's not working at all for him. I don't think it's working against him. It's just showing him what it looks like when it doesn't work for him. I think they're trying to remind Drake that you are where you are because of us, because you had our help. I think that if Drake has another album left in his contract, he may try to find a way to not give it to them. They're going to try to find a way to keep him in his contract. Drake will rebel, so he'll be a loner in some way, the hermit in reverse, choosing to do so. What was that in the near future? Four of Cups in reverse. I think that he'll low-key be aware of the show, if not watching it himself in some way, or watching for the world's reactions to the NFL. But I also think that he'll be performing for the people that he feels like still ride with him, his fans, his ride or die fans. For some reason, I think that Drake has a special relationship with someone in the industry, probably Lucien Grange, or whatever his last name is, to where Drake once felt like his golden boy. And for some reason, he doesn't know, or he doesn't feel like he's his golden boy anymore. He feels like he's letting him take this L and fall off, giving him the treatment that other rappers have gotten. Drake is aware of their practices because they've worked for him, which is why he's paranoid and believes that they're doing the same thing for Kendrick. I believe it might be something that happens in the industry, but I don't believe it's to the extent that Kendrick's success wasn't Kendrick's success. And Drake is using that as his hill to die on. But I don't think he believes that. I think it's really his ego. I believe Drake will continue to isolate by way of, self-destruct by way of isolating himself from every relationship. Even the ones that might still be like, Drake, we not hating at you, bro. We were just enjoying the moment. But in Drake's mind, let me look into that Devil in reverse. Dropping. I don't think that these are just friendships, and I don't think that Drake is the only one cutting off. For some reason, I think some people are dropping Drake. I think Drake is dropping some people. I think some dropping of relationships and partnerships might be mutual. I think Drake is demanding justice, and he's demanding people and entities to choose sides. And I think that due to his legal situation with UMG, which is a pretty big entity, I think that as a result, other entities under that umbrella are severing relationships with Drake, and or he's severing relationships with them. All right, you guys. That's all I got. Love you. Bye.